Hey, welcome back to Mercenaries. We're going to move on to the second half of the characters now, who were all introduced in the DLC.
Pinstripe Potoroo looks different than what I remember him.
And yet he doesn't really. It looks like Leon's cosplaying as him, but didn't quite get the mask right, so he didn't include it. I think folks would still get it if he went to
I hope he's at least learned not to randomly shoot the ceiling that causes him to go dizzy.
No, so there's treasures up there in the lanterns, so you have to shoot the ceiling.
Well, it's a good thing that there aren't any bandicoots in Spain.
So I think this is my footage, but I gotta tell you, it's not going to be as good as the Krauser footage.
I mean, to be fair, that set the bar extremely high.
Krauser himself set the bar high by having such crazy capability over every other character. What's Leon's deal? Again.
Well, he not only set the bar, but he sliced it in half.
Oh, that guy! I like that even in Mercs, he's still in the cabinet.
Same, actually. So I believe Pinstripe Leon is still just Leon, just a different loadout.
Yeah.
Along with the Chicago Typewriter, which has absolutely ridiculous unlock requirements when compared to the first game, or the original 4.
Yeah, this is the only time, or the only chance, like, most of us are ever going to get to actually see, like, the Chicago Typewriter in action.
Yeah, also, since Liquidy Poo briefly went into the farm, unlike in the original game where you could not go into the farm at all except in Mercenaries mode, which again it's not entirely kept because there's that brief side quest I think when you come back here with Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a while since I've rewatched the rest of this Let's Play. Perhaps I should have done my homework, but no, it's funnier this way.
No, you're right. In RE4 OG, that barn is locked unless you're playing Mercenaries mode.
I don't think I've ever realized that.
It's destroyed. The door is collapsed on the inside, so you can't go in.
Yeah.
It's really cool that they took the space that already existed and added so much to it. Like that explosive barrel. You can't shoot down the lantern to set the barn on fire in this mode, so they put in a barrel so that you could do it anyway. I love
my one weakness, old ladies stabbing at my kidneys.
I know, I was about to say, I love that like the knitting circle has come for you. So there is one upside to the Chicago Typewriter. It pierces.
Unfortunately, it's kind of useless as a typewriter, but you know, you take what you could get.
Alan Wake could find a way. Yo, Leon could kick this guy multiple times.
I suppose Alan Wake could find a way, but maybe not in this map. It's too bright.
Oh, but if only a rock song was playing. Well, I guess it is, but you know, one with lyrics about how cool he is, then he could do it.
I feel like the old gods of Asgard. Oh, Jesus Christ, forget what I was saying.
Not
Here we
this
go,
time.
I finally did it.
What happened? He just suddenly became the man on fire.
It was the hatred for the last time we fought him. You survived! Way to go, Liquidy!
Liquidy Poo has become punished Venom Poo.
Whoa!
You don't want that. You don't want that at all.
That's what happens when you try the 3x spicy samyang noodles.
I'm gonna say that was a pretty impressive spin kick. Looks like in Mayhem he does even those faster. Just in case you don't feel like using your guns or whatever.
So how much ammo does the Chicago Typewriter have in this mode? I'm assuming it's not infinite, because otherwise it would kind of break things.
It is not infinite.
The egg again.
In the preview video that we are using to commentate over, the ammo counter is illegible.
Yeah, it's a little too blurry.
But it's finite. It sure is finite. It's infinite ammo is not something they give you lightly in this mode. You gotta earn it. Because they make you face multiple bosses at once!
Yeah!
Oh,
that's the hand cannon, which was the other major unlock that in the original you would get it for 5-starring every map. No, is it 5-starring every map as every character, I think? Or is it just 5-starring all maps regardless of character? One of those two.
Either way, it's awesome because in this mode, you get more points for killing enemies in Mayhem, so you actually want to save it for bosses where you'll get the most points possible from taking them out. And if you use your flash grenades, for example, or your guns work too, you could just... You could get huge scores of enemies at once and get major points for it. You could play this as a score attack if you wanted, or a survival mode, or just like a spin kicking simulator if you have a hard day at work. That's what I use
do
it
like
for.
the spin kicking. I wish I had parried that man though, so I could lob his arm off.
So where's greed mode, where you fight the merchant?
Oh dang, nice.
He would be an unlockable character. Oh, speaking of unlockable characters, here's one.
Yeah, unlocked by my wallet.
That's what I was gonna say if you didn't. Well, this is one of the first DLC characters, and she plays like she does in the campaign, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that she's got her own jazzy theme.
It is a really nice, like, take on her theme. Anyway, I'm back in the driver's seat. You can tell because I immediately, or I almost exclusively go for leg shots.
It is fascinating how we all have our own play styles. Like, I'm looking forward to the thread's reaction to seeing all of us and judging us on our various, like, play styles. Like, yours is very aggressive, where you'll run into a crowd of enemies and spin kick them, because that's what Ada does, is her spin kick is like a 360-degree tornado. We were talking about Crash Bandicoot, now we're playing as his sister.
Anyway, Ada's loadout is, it's all her weapons, the crossbow, the
blacktail.
Yeah, blacktail, her pump action shotgun, or whatever it's called. I can't remember anymore.
Oh, that was, yeah, that I think was a variant on the shotgun that she had in the original Separate Ways as well.
Yeah. She also gets her grapple hook for fun cross-distance takedowns.
For the record, she also has her high heels, her most dangerous weapon, it seems.
We also
I just
really
absolutely love that there are a million different ways to take enemies down stylishly in this
We also
game.
haven't really pointed this out yet, but each map has a special gimmick or set piece that is tied to how each map worked in the main campaign. Like we have the
It's
cannon.
a good time to mention it. This is probably the one that's most involved. You have to run down into the tower to raise up the cannon if you want to use it against enemies, but you can also, any way you want, take out those bastards with the catapults whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, whereas the turret in the barracks, that's kind of like, that's more situational, I think.
Because they're just gonna keep firing down on us unless we take care of them. And you can use that to your advantage because it'll take out groups of enemies. So if you just keep running for your life, they'll hit whatever's behind you. And it's kind of like an Indiana Jones movie in that you make it by half a second within an inch of your life and feel pretty cool for it.
Yeah,
But
plus
it's
the game
dangerous.
kind of forces you to engage with the cannons as well. Because the enemies controlling the cannons are part of the 150 you need to, quote-unquote, beat the map.
And you can take them out any way you want. For example, they have barrels up there. But Ada, for example, has her crossbow. So you can just, shoot it up there and it'll take the cannon out for you. And the guy, too.
Nice save there.
By the
That
skin
guy
of your
moved my
teeth.
combo. Oh well.
So does every character have nice. Aside from that, does every character have invincibility when they start Mayhem, or is it just Luis?
Yeah, they might all have some kind of iframes when you start Mayhem mode.
They all push enemies backwards.
You got an
I think
S rank
Ada's
for
Mayhem-
sliced your head off.
I think Ada's Mayhem mode is the same as Leon's.
It is. But again,
Okay.
it's like I said in the last video, she's only got one bar, so all that means is that it fills up and empties faster. You have more chances to use it. And that, in essence, makes her actually slightly different than Leon, even though it operates the same. And I think that's really cool.
am so glad that in this, the final video of the Let's Play, you included one last sprinting stealth kill, which was so goddamn funny every time.
I mean, the Ganados just need more awareness of their surroundings. Like, I don't know, they're soldiers at this point. You'd think that they would understand.
That's a less understood symptom of Las Placas, is just copious amounts of earwax. They're basically deaf.
Okay, now it makes sense why they shout so loudly. Oh, wow. Oh wow, nice parry! I didn't know you could parry those.
Where's the
You
rubber
can,
knife
but you
upgrade?
get stunned from that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Imagine that, a rubber knife upgrade. The trade-off that you can parry anything without side effects, but your knife melee attacks are basically useless.
I would like to see the return of those, like, wacky unlockables. The original game had this rad laser rifle you could unlock that did nothing to Ganados, but at night would kill Plagas instantly. So there were several enemies, like Gyarados, that it was useless on until you popped the plasma thingy out, or whatever,
Now,
popped out the rifle.
I don't want to be the well-actually guy, but the Plagas removal laser, which is what you're referring to,
The PRL.
yes, when you are, unfortunately, it works on every enemy. It kills every enemy instantly when it's fully charged, regardless of whether they actually have less Plagas.
Be the well actually guy, because I want to see those return in future games. They should be preserved in the overpowered way they are, like the way that the hand cannon is unlocked. It's really cool in, you know, in this game, for example, and in the original RE4, it's accessible pretty easily, I would say, based
Also,
on like
the PRL
having to play like
was
10
an
times in Silent Hill.
The PRL was added as an unlock, starting with the PlayStation 2 port. That, along with the pinstripe 1920s gangster costume, that was PS2. That was not on the GameCube version at all, which also meant that GameCube is the inferior version, only because you cannot see the special reload animation if you combine the pinstripe costume with the Chicago typewriter.
Okay, but GameCube version doesn't look and play like ass.
But you know what also doesn't play like ass? The Wii version. Unless you're using
Yeah.
Wii Remote and Nunchuck. In
No,
which
actually,
case,
I would
is-
argue that
yeah.
that is the best way to play RE4.
Yeah, we don't Chuck rule.
I have made my grumpy old man opinions known that the controls are too good. They ruin the pacing and the tension.
Oh yeah, we should probably talk about like who we're playing as and their loadout. It's Ada in the dress. Who plays like regular Ada. Oh, I died. Oops.
Well, the remix take on the dress is cool. I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool. She has the TMP. She's got a rifle, and she's got an RPG.
I'm gonna say that Ada is the character that's meant for experts, because, you know, there's this guy for folks that have trouble playing games like Mercenaries, where if you have trouble timing parries, there's a character who doesn't have to do that. You can just hit the button and it'll work if the enemy comes at you.
So,
Like Wesker.
Yeah, this is Wesker.
gentleman, Wesker only uses one hand to block. So could we assume that Ethan is twice as powerful, at least when it comes to blocking?
Yes, I'm perfectly fine with assuming that Ethan Winters is the twice as powerful blonde. It's good to be back. Thank you for letting me clarify that statement, my friend.
Yes, the blonde blockers.
That's right. Ethan Winters is better than Wesker, who does have a cool amount of kung fu moves, though. Wesker can teleport and say nothing personnel.
Well, you know
So
what,
Wesker's
though?
got. Okay, Wesker's got two guns, I believe. This and a Magnum, and his main gimmick is that he can, when he parries and like has an enemy open, he can flash step to them and just like punch their head off or something.
Not only that, but he hits groups with an AoE with his kung fu. So it's good at stunning one guy and then rushing into the crowd to get them all at once.
I have
Like that.
come to a horrible realization. Wesker is incel Ethan.
Yes! You're right! He's like if Ethan took the dark path and didn't get married. If Ethan became a Redditor, he'd end up Wesker instead with the way he treats Ada. You're right.
Wait, I thought Wesker had a child, or am I confusing things?
Unfortunately, you're right,
that was
he did.
IVF. That was IVF. He just jerked off into a cup. There was no romance involved.
Alright, so we're just gonna pretend that RE6 doesn't exist, because they're gonna remake it when we're all old enough anyway that we won't play it. So, like, for all the kids who will, best of luck learning about Jake Wesker. I hope you love
you're
him.
forgetting Alex from Revelations 2.
That's right, he had a hot sister! And she was into good literature, too. Oh, yeah! That's satisfying!
Oh, man.
Oh, right. So Wesker's Mayhem mode, it gives him a full-on Kung Fu combo.
Speaking of
And it
Resident
kinda
Evil 6,
rules.
this is basically what it's like to play as Jake in RE6.
Yes.
When you're using his hand-to-hand.
Maybe with less shovel to the
All right,
face.
what can I just say? Wesker getting hit in the side of the head with a shovel is something I've always wanted to see happen to him, so thank you, amigo.
You're welcome, I guess.
Just vicariously living Jack Baker's life.
Hello, boy! I'm back
Anyway, this
in a
map actually
different
kind of sucks
game!
for Wesker, and we'll see why shortly. Or maybe I'm just really bad at playing Wesker.
What I love about him is that he only starts with a pistol. You have to use his gimmick in this one like that. You can avoid getting grabbed even as Wesker. And so he's a cool character to play as. Even outside of the melee and mayhem mode or whatever it is, like, it's very neat.
While
It's
you
like
were busy living life and having a girlfriend, Wesker was studying the art of the frame perfect parry.
The other thing I wanted to say earlier is that Wesker has to wear sunglasses to hide his face. That's another thing Ethan's got to one-up on him.
Ethan's got the protagonist shadow on him, you're right. Oh, and there are upsides and downsides to every character, aren't there? You are vulnerable for like a split second after he does his cool, awesome, badass melee moves. Like just a split second. And if you're low on health, it's scary.
It really is. Anyway, the current boss character for Wesker is Gary, and he fucking sucks at trying to deal with Gary. Like when you can turn Gary around and stun him, it's fine. But if you go head on, like, good fucking luck.
I mean, it really is a study of contrast. It really is a study of contrast between these two, right? Wesker is always on. He will never stop shouting in your face. Whereas Gary, he only throws a tantrum when you make noise around him.
I feel like he could learn a few lessons from him. He really could. I love Wesker spamming parries there because it was his last chance at survival. Wesker played Dark Souls and he was like, you know what, I can pull that off, I think.
Frankly, I'm surprised I got through that little scrap there.
I'm impressed, homie. Your ability to survive on low health in every single Let's Play I've been a part of has been impeccable. Well done. You are a true survivalist.
Billions will die
You
for
say
my
that, but my
plans to
runs have
come
been
to
the only
fruition.
ones so far where I've actually died.
Billions
Because
will
you
die.
have the humility.
Well,
I think that's the only time anyone's ever been killed by a Novistador, and you have the nobility to show it off as Albert Wesker. That's why these are the best Let's Plays, man. These are the best Let's Plays.
This is why
Anyway.
Wesker shouldn't go for the rat ring builds.
and this is Hunk with his tofu costume off.
Ooh.
And the enemies don't give him any time either. They're just so utterly aggressive, these island Ganados. I love that they're thrown in there with the cultists and the regular guys, just so that sometimes you get some jackass that runs straight at you with a electric cattle prod, and you gotta deal with him like a doom pinky, like, oh shit, I gotta take care of him right now.
This is like when two different, very philosophically different sects of a religion, team up to do something together, and it's very awkward. And they try the family barbecue, but it doesn't go too well.
And yet, there's still chicken. If you just happen to see it run by, I am in the school of liquidy. Oh, hold on a moment.
Snap.
Well, yes, I did time the music to exactly that moment, because Hunk is awesome in every appearance. His extraction
really
point is he works hard for it in this game, and I love the way he plays.
Yeah, if I remember right, you like mastered this map as Punk to do this run.
Oh, in fact, I tried hard, because this is the one that gives you the most wiggle room in terms of tactics. Enemies spawn in spots that will crowd you and cramp you, and it seems intentionally designed to make it so that you're always running away from jackasses like this.
And in the
Here
case
I'm
of
trying to
his,
charge up my mayhem to the maximum so that I get the most time with it, because I'm gonna need it versus the number of enemies that clog this place like a blood clot. Oh,
and in the case of Hunk's neck-breaking animation, it is literally wiggle room.
very good. I love the little finger waggle he does afterwards,
so
like it's a
good.
magic trick.
It's a great flourish.
Surprise!
Also, this video marks the first time I've seen like enemies come up that elevator to chase after you.
It's wonderful how if you look close, you can see their spawn points, but there are usually so many that you don't have time. I just love the ominous lights that flash when the boss shows up.
Yeah.
Oh. Yikes! Woo! This music is from across Hunk modes, by the way. Every Hunk representation appears in this video. Oh, and the man deserves it because he is a true survivor. Like, screw Leon, screw Chris. Hunk is the one that's appeared in the most games. This guy dives into the action just to clean up after the protagonists leave. And it's awesome. Hunk represents the player, essentially, the survivalist. And you know what he's also really good at?
That.
Clutch parries.
So he's here to clean up after all the other player characters. So we're playing the Skullface.
Way better than you
A
could
less
ever hope to
resentful
be.
Skullface.
Yeah. This is like, what if XOF was actually worth a damn?
Oh, seeing you pick up that knife earlier just reminded me, Wesker, or just going back to Wesker real quick, Wesker does not have a knife, so his only melee options are to successfully get off parries.
This is my favorite music track in the game, by the way. Hunk's theme just rules. It screams of the desperation of survival.
So in the Resident Evil universe, the equivalent of XOF is the AASB.
For the record, you can always
that's
do
not
the neck
fair.
break.
That's not fair, Hunk. That guy had one arm and you had two. Don't humiliate him like that.
Oh no, you gotta take advantage of everything you can in a zombie apocalypse, and that's why I'm running around collecting ammo
But these
for his
aren't-
only weapon.
But these aren't zombies. They're Las Plagas.
They're close enough, and I'm gonna say that they're getting more zombie-like all the time, especially as this mode goes on. I love the way that it just kind of evolves as it goes to become harder and harder. We haven't mentioned that, because it's so invisible, just like the original system.
I mean, after
The
Leon
start
killed
of Mercenaries, you are on normal difficulty, but
Okay, but-
then it scales all the way up to professional by the very end, and you are just expected to take it, to learn that enemies will now take one more shot to stumble, one more shot before you can melee them, and it's brutal.
Okay, but after
brutal.
when Leon killed the very first enemy in Resident Evil 4, he looked at him. He didn't say, this guy might become a zombie once I get to Mercenaries.
I don't give a shit about moral quandaries. It's Resident Evil. I'm here to throw flash grenades at horrible bugs.
This is
If
not
you want
about
moral quandaries, go argue about Resident Evil 5's politics.
This
I'll
is
be
not-
here playing RE5 Mercs.
But this is
Shut
not
up!
about.
We've got
this
a
is-
cool bridge that opens up when you get to 70 or so kills, and it's got a mayhem mode orb on it. But I'm saving it because screw these guys. My extraction point is waiting.
But this is not about moral quandaries. It's about annoying fandom pedantry.
It is absolutely not about that! This is a celebration of what Resident Evil is, and you will enjoy it while I am chased by this double chainsaw man, who I'm trying to score maximum points on.
Well,
This guy
I'm very glad.
is-
I'm very glad that
this
you're not
guy's
in the type
tough.
of message boards that are extremely negative and nitpick about every goddamn thing.
They don't exist, and those people are not to be listened to, because it is so awesome to be able to stumble this guy with my mayhem.
You
Additions
juggled
to
that
series
man.
over the years are awesome, and this game is so awesome for existing, because now we're in trouble. What are you gonna do now?
That list that you get, that description you gave, that applies to Resident Evil 6 as well, you realize. You sure
That
you don't
was
want to
real
qualify its
close there.
statement? I mean, I don't mind Resident Evil 6 that much, to be honest.
My opinion is I've got an extraction point waiting. I have no time to think about these things because there are a quantity of 4 chainsaws chasing me right now, and I'm a little busy.
The extraction point will magically appear once you kill 150 enemies.
This rifle's piercing just like the Chicago Sweeper. You better get used to it because you're gonna need it on this
Oh,
map.
right, I forgot that they renamed the typewriter to the Sweeper in this game. That sucks. It will always be the
Oh, yeah,
typewriter.
that's right.
I agree. But it's like I said, this is a celebration of Resident Evil, and the game deserves it. And Hunk is the champion of Resident Evil and its poster boy, and he deserves to finish RE4 Mercenaries with no damage.
God
Holy shit,
damn.
really? I didn't notice that.
Argate, thank you
no
for having us.
damage.
This was a wonderful series of videos. We caught up to the remakes, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful being along for the ride, amigo.
So we'll meet again in about 15 years when we cover Resident Evil 7 remake.
Oh yeah, we will. Ethan Winters lives again.